And we're live on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well this morning. Didn't do a show yesterday. To be honest, I was exhausted watching that Super Bowl on Sunday, and between that and teaching the kids all day yesterday, totally exhausted on that Monday for Metric Monday. Though I may do a Metric Monday. I have a metric I wanted to compare to Super Bowl to a burn down chart or burn up chart, and maybe we'll do that next Monday. I don't know. Some people can't handle that after the Super Bowl, so we're not going to do that. So today I want to talk about OKRs, getting OKRs done in a week, taking OKRs seriously. I was answering a contribution on LinkedIn, and they were asking about OKRs, and I put some comments in there, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts behind OKRs. I've done this before in a previous episode and how to do OKRs in a week, but I wanted to revisit a little bit because it's a new year, and everyone loves to make goals and planning for New Year's in the beginning of the year. We're still in February a little bit, so I have a feeling most companies are doing the OKRs now, but I really think they're kind of late if you have an OKR for the first quarter of the year, because we're halfway into the quarter. So I wanted to talk about this, but we can always get better, right? So this is the thing. People think, oh, we started so we can. No, you can always get better. So when you get to the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, that you can get your OKR process better. Maybe we'll revisit this at the beginning of every quarter just to remind people on how to do OKR planning better, because I think it has a value, to be honest with you. So we're going to go over that. I got a little whiteboard, talk about that a little bit, and we'll go through that today. So, hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. We talk about Scrum and Agile in a very practical and tactical way, so you bring more value to the customer, not work crazy hours to bring that value, and have a little fun along the way. Oh, and please note, we do have a time change for our meetup. It's going to be on February 28th. I believe that is the last Wednesday of the month of February. We have a good one. We have Carl Freiberg, who's going to be talking about goal setting, which kind of goes into the OKRs. So it's a good segue into that. So I hope you get a chance to sign up. We have it on the meetup. Join our meetup.com. You don't always have to attend. We do a lot of virtual stuff. Maybe one day we'll do some in-person stuff in the Philadelphia area because that's where I live. But for now, a lot of it's going to be virtual. And I think it will be good. It'll be good practice for people. As I said, you're not perfect the first time you do it. You just keep honing that skill, honing that ability, and you get better over time. It's not like, oh, I didn't do it in the first month, I can't do it at all now. I can't do it. No, you should do it. So let's talk about OKRs. So I drew this little map. One of my biggest pet peeves. I want to talk about that a little bit. First is that when OKRs are done halfway through the quarter, it takes a month, the planning and everything that goes into it. If done well, it shouldn't take, be honest with you, should take less than 3 days. Really? I mean, if you really want to take it serious, 3 days is really all you need to do OKR planning, because I'm going to give you an essence of what OKRs are. OKRs is what? The vision of the company, right? There shouldn't be a lot of vision points. But like, if there, and not maybe not every group and every item in your backlog has to be related to OKRs. When you have an organization does that, they're doing OKRs wrong. You can come ask me, tell you we're going to go see Greg Mester. He'll talk more about OKRs. I personally believe not everything you do in an organization should match up to OKRs. OKRs should be special things. Only a couple, not everything on the planet for your corporation, but a couple special things that your corporation wants to try and experiment and grow the company with in the next year or next quarter. And you really should do it by quarters and not by years, because as the year changes, especially in IT world, things are changing, evolving so much. What you plan at the beginning of the year may not apply to end. I know they like having these OKR planning and vision things so they can put it on their stockholder briefs and things like that. So there's a little bit of that, but there's ways to do it that, it works out better. But you do it every quarter. So you pick a couple things. You only pick one or two things. So here's a worst case a week. Let's say worst case it should take a week. If your OKR planning is spread out more than a week, one, your company's not taking OKR seriously, and two, just give up now. No, kidding. But it should be a week. So let's just say it's this, and it doesn't have to be the Monday through Friday. It can start the week before, ponder a little bit, do whatever. So Monday would be the highest level. So that's where the corporate boards and the CEOs and the directors get together and figure out what do they want to have for OKR. And you only pick like 5 things max for OKRs. If you have 50 things, you're not doing OKRs right. You should only have 5. Okay. Then you pass those 5 things. Once you figure it out, and you really need a facilitator a lot of times, and it really should only take a couple hours. And I'm going to explain why it should only take a couple hours. If your executive board is really in touch with your customer base, the organization, the community, the product lines, whatever, they know what they want to work on. They know what the customer's telling them. If they're not, and it takes them a month to figure it out, one, they're not in touch with their customer base. Two, they're not in touch with their product lines. And they're not in touch with the new trends in society, right? So they should be going to these conferences. I can go to the whole thing. Maybe we'll do that next time. But they should go to those to keep up on trends. So it only should take a couple hours to facilitate this from the higher level. They like to have a good time. So we'll make it a whole day. I don't think it should be a day, but let's say it is. It should only take a couple hours where they're all meeting together and brainstorming what they want to have. Then that goes to the next day to the mid-level people. So you meet together, you finalize it, you hand it off to mid-level people. So many people want to make it polished and take months to make it look pretty and stuff like that. No, it's not. It's supposed to be fast. In the agile world, fast, right? Get your ideas on a paper. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then it gets to mid-level. Now the mid-level take that, okay, what are we of these OKRs? What can we do on our area to support those OKRs? Or what should we do? Or do we need our own OKRs for ourselves for mid-level? So maybe there's a little bit of top level and one bottom level. Who knows? The mid-level does the same thing. Then the next day on Wednesday, this stuff gets passed on to the teams. Now, depending on schedules and whether or not they take OKRs positive or not, the team will go through and they're going more details. They would identify stuff they want to work in sprints, when they're going to do it, what's doable, what's realistic, what can they do, what they want to spikes, things like that. They spend the whole morning figuring that out. How would they implement some OKRs into their sprints? And I can go the whole thing, and I've done a couple of shows on populating your sprint backlog with OKR items. There's ways to do it. There's tricks to it. It's not that complicated. You don't need to buy a whole entire system to manage your OKRs, to be honest with you. It's overkill. It's people like to spend money. So at the end of now, here's a 3-day. I got a 3-day thing, but now say we did a whole week. The next day, the team would pass on their recommendation to mid-level management. Management would review it, give feedback back to see if things are doable or not doing it, and get that little feedback loop. And then the Friday, the mid-level people would go back up because there might be multiple levels in a big organization, and they come and do feedback loops to the highest level, and the highest level gives feedback, and that can come back down. I think it's all done in 3 days, to be honest with you. I think it only should take a couple hours, maybe different levels on that Monday. Same thing on the Tuesday. And then when the team's done, the team reports out to the mid-level, and then for like an hour, what are we doing? And then the mid-level report goes up to the higher levels throughout the day. And really, it should be done in 3 days, if not less. To be honest with you, I think it should be done in 2 days. But let's say 3 days to give people a break. But you can report out what they're going to do. So you can save yourself to. So I can go 3 days, right, to do OKRs, where a lot of companies will do it in a month. And my thing is, here's my thing with doing it in a month. If you did it in a month, you're going to lose your momentum. You're going to lose your thought process. You're going to lose your teams. They're already a third of the way. Think about this. A quarter is only 3 months. So if it takes you a month to deliver your OKRs, you already missed a third of your entire timeline to achieve your OKRs. That's a fail, in my opinion, right? So if you're doing that and you're taking more than a couple of days to get the OKRs, and I also think all this should be done prior to, if you're doing PI planning safe or anything like that, or planning for a quarter or sprint planning, all this should be done prior to a sprint planning. So this information can get fed into the sprint backlog. The backlog could be updated with items from your OKRs, or maybe it's the second sprint, but at least it's available there so you can start planning out sprints. So the timing is important. Cadence is important. That was one of the questions in the thing, but it's really important to have your cadence together so you can get that information. But you really want to do all this before sprint planning, before PI planning. So if you do a PI planning in January or December, you want to do your OKR planning before that for that quarter, right? So you want to get the OKRs planned up, feed that into PI planning or sprint planning, and go on from there. So you always want to do your OKRs first prior to your PI planning and safe or sprint planning so that it can get populated into the backlog and get worked just like an item, right? And you can track it as OKRs. Simple as putting the word OKR in front of a item in your backlog so you can do a quick report on that, and I can do that too. So OKRs shouldn't take a month to get done. Should take a week, if not 3 days, to be done with your OKRs if your company wants to take it seriously. All that gets put into your sprint planning so you can get the work done. So I wanted to share that with you because I did see the OKR thing on that. And again, just a reminder, we are doing goal setting at our next meetup on February 28th with Carl Freiberg. It should be a good thing. I did do an interview session. So if you want to see who Carl is, he's a good guy. Been through a lot in his life, lost his big toe to a tree, wrote a book on it, and how that big toe. I might actually correlate that to losing your top lead person on your team. What does that feel like? So we might do one day, I'll do a comparison. He'll talk about that story, and maybe we'll talk about losing a lead person. Maybe I'll do another interview with him, talk about his big toe. With that, I want to wish you all a great day. Happy scrumming. And here on the East Coast, it's kind of snowing, raining, something. So it's a mix of everything. Kids are home. Cats are going nuts. I don't know about you, but it feels like the animals are going insane. And I want to wish you a great day. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow. Next week, I think I will talk about the Super Bowl. Give it a day, give it a week, the rest. Talk about how the Super Bowl looked like from a burnt up chart perspective for metrics, so that you can get a feel like if you're making that waterfall, how does it feel like to be watching it? All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye. See ya.